2022 was, thankfully, a much busier year at Calgary International Airport. With traffic rebounding nicely, especially during the summer, things looked far more normal. So, like I did for 2021, I thought I would take today to look at some of the best visitors and some special moments for plane spotting at YYC this year. This isn't an exhaustive list by any stretch, and I did miss out on a few things, but as far as videos that I filmed go, this is the best of Calgary International Airport in 2022. Starting off just a few days into the year, we got our first ever visit from an Airbus A330neo. Portuguese charter carrier Highfly sent their A330-900 carrying refugees from Afghanistan. It was a bit of a windy day when they arrived though, making for quite the landing. January also brought this Hainan Airlines A330-300, which diverted here en route from Shanghai to Seattle due to bad weather in the Pacific Northwest. Although not the first time we've seen them since they had passenger flights here until 2020, it was good to see them again. Throughout the first few weeks of the year, we had a few more visits from Highfly, bringing in some rapid tests from Asia with a mix of A330s and A340s. In February, new ultra-low-cost carrier Lynx Air took delivery of their very first 737 MAX, which arrived here with a spectacular low pass and landing on runway 35 left. I had the absolute honor and privilege of filming that right next to the runway too. March brought a pretty regular annual visitor for us, in the form of the Detroit Red Wings MD-81. Unlike years past though, both the arrival and departure were in daylight, making for a great opportunity to see this very rare type. March also brought some visits from national airlines with their 747-400 freighters, one of which departed on a perfectly clear morning. In April, KF Aerospace announced the launch of their new charter airline, Aeroflyer, which started operations with two former WestJet 737-600s. They based one of them here in Calgary, which was especially nice to see given how rare 737-600s are around the world. Also in April was this United Airlines 777-300ER that diverted here with a medical emergency while en route from Chicago to Honolulu. Yes, that is a domestic American flight that wound up flying near Calgary, probably because of more favorable winds. As far as I know, all was well with the passenger, and the rest were back on their way a few hours later. Towards the end of April, the first 737-800 freighters for WestJet Cargo finally arrived in Calgary on their delivery flights from China. They, unfortunately, have not done much since then and are still waiting for certification. In June, Flair Airlines took delivery of two 737 MAXs that were not quite painted in Flair colors. These two planes were originally destined for Air Europa of Spain and were delivered to Flair, Canadian registration and all, in Air Europa livery. Both planes later had the livery covered with some stickers, which has since led to two interesting hybrids that are still flying around in that livery to this day.
Line up, 35 left, amend sit after departure, right turn heading 015, that one's unchanged.
Noise, 35 left, and after departure heading 015, altitude up to now.
Try Oscar, lead back, correct?
June also brought a visit from this Antonov 124 from Antonov Airlines, which stayed a night here on a fuel stop, bringing some military equipment from Australia to Ukraine. Given world events, it was especially nice to see one of these here. July brought the return of what some spotters have dubbed NATO Week, a week which usually brings a number of military transports from NATO countries for training at Canadian Forces Base Suffield near Medicine Hat. This year, we had an A400M from the Belgian Air Force, a Royal Air Force C-17, and an A330 MRTT from the French Air Force.
Number 956, this is night time. Roll course 3173, Charlie short 17, right, good for the Course 3173, tower, remain holding short, there's got to be one to land. We'll remain holding short,
In the summer, YYC welcomed back Lynx Air after a 2-year suspension, flying 2 flights a week from Zurich with their Airbus A340s. Lynx is always one of my favorite seasonal visitors that we get, and it was great to see them back here. In August, Calgary also welcomed a new airline for us, German leisure carrier Eurowings Discover. However, due to a shortage of crews and aircraft, YYC spotters lucked out with wet leased Finnair A350s operating all but one of their flights. Finnair is one of those airlines I could never have imagined seeing here on a regular basis, so this was certainly a highlight. At the end of August was possibly one of the best equipment changes we could have ever seen. From the end of August until the end of December, FedEx decided to swap out their usual 767s for their McDonnell Douglas MD-10s. This was an unbelievable opportunity for us to see these heavy tri-jets in action during their last few months of service, with the knowledge that this would definitely be the last time we ever saw regular DC-10 flights here. Also at the end of August, the Royal New Zealand Air Force stopped in for a few hours with one of their 757s. Planes from the South Pacific are especially uncommon here, and they were bringing New Zealand Army personnel to the UK to help train members of the Ukrainian infantry. In September, new startup Canada Jetlines made their first ever appearance here, with this demo flight carrying some travel agents from Toronto to Calgary and back. They inaugurated passenger flights just a week later, and given how long they'd been in various stages of starting up, it was great to finally see them in action. Throughout October, we had perhaps one of the most random sights here, in the form of this 737 MAX 8 for Australian ULCC startup Bonza. This MAX 8 spent about a month near Flair's maintenance hangar in Calgary after being delivered here from Boeing. Supposedly, it had something to do with the fact that Bonza and Flair both have a mutual investor in 777 Partners, who own most of both airlines' planes. While the plane was here, it did a few test flights, which I happily filmed.
Romeo traffic at departing in front, going 36015, clear to land, runway 35 left. Clear to land 35 left, November Tango.
Also in October, we had an exceptionally rare visit from this German Air Force Airbus A350. There wasn't much publicly known about this visit, but it was a very cool opportunity to see a government A350 up close. And finally, to cap off the year, Calgary had a number of interesting charter flights operating for Sunwing at the end of December. These were mostly recovery flights due to some bad weather across Canada, leading to lots of cancellations. That is still an ongoing thing as I post this, and I do feel for those passengers affected. For Calgary at least, this led to a visit from a Global Crossing Airlines A320, an A330-300 from Lynx Air, and a 777 from Omni Air International. And that was 2022 at YYC. Thank you very much for watching this recap of the year, for all of your continued support of these spotting videos, and I'm looking forward to seeing what 2023 brings at Calgary International Airport. All the best for 2023, and I'll see you next time.